Should you be paying tax on your Pokemon card purchases? Let's look at the numbers. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about how you can potentially legally avoid paying taxes on your Pokemon card purchases. We'll discuss kind of where and how you can do this, some of the risks, some of the steps you can take to protect yourselves, and you can decide how to spend your hard-earned money. I want to preface things by saying though, this advice is all from the buyer's perspective. It's all from a buyer's perspective. I'm not talking about tax evasion. Sellers, you guys need to settle your tax responsibilities in accordance with whatever regional laws may apply to you. The goal here in this video is to potentially help you save money and maybe just give you another option when it comes to purchasing products. Because let's face it, this is a very expensive hobby that we have found ourselves in, and it just does not stop. So, and look, paying tax sucks. I'm up here in Ontario, we're paying 13% harmonized sales tax. 13%. That is not great. So I'm not going to go on around about paying tax, but look, if you can avoid getting taxes stacked on at the checkout at the time of sale, why would you not want to look at that as an option? So look, how do you do it? How do you avoid paying tax? Well, let's look at the two options you really have as a buyer in this hobby. There's category one, like places you can go, the more formal places I would call them. So physical or online stores, local card stores, big box stores, eBay, tcgplayer.com, Troll and Toad. And I'm not shitting all over these places. Like, I buy from them. I will continue to buy from these places. But you know, these are category one. So there's also like streaming platforms like Whatnot or whatever, which we'll parking lot for another time. But look, these are category one places. The tax is going to be applied at the checkout. It's going to be an extra percentage applied when you check out to buy these from these sellers. Category two are your community-driven spaces. And in community-driven spaces, you're looking at, you know, Reddit, Instagram, Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups, Twitter, X, whatever, and then in-person events like card and collectible shows. So in category two, tax is not going to be applied at the checkout, or it's going to be negotiable. You know, I don't want to speak for all sellers at card shows. So here's my take. If you're using only category one, you're probably getting ripped off. I have a big problem with the markups right now on products at big box stores. I think it's ridiculous. And you're also missing out on some huge savings on products. So let's dive into category two. So these community-driven spaces, these Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups, X, Twitter, all that stuff, where you are not charged sales tax on top of your purchase. And my position here is you should be exploring these as a buyer. You don't have to use them, but you should be exploring them and seeing what's out there as a buyer. Now at this point, you're like, whoa, hold up, Rob. There's scammers. There's some sleazy bastards out there that are going to take my money if I use these things. I'm not going anywhere near them. Not going anywhere near them. Look, there are scammers out there in all walks of life, on all the platforms that you're going to see. That is life. Okay, you just have to deal with it. You don't have to buy from anybody that you don't want to buy from, and there are steps you can take to protect yourself. Of course there are risks. There are fake cards, fake products, stuff that is not going to get shipped. People are going to take your money and ghost you. But look, I'll help you through that in a couple of minutes. I would say, look, keep an open mind here. So let's look at the benefits of using some of these community-driven spaces. I mean, first of all, we'll talk briefly about Facebook Marketplace. I'm sure everyone knows what Marketplace is. You know, you can not pay any tax here, obviously. You can haggle. Yeah, there's some people out there that are just going to ghost you. Like, you know, is this still available? And their listing's up and they never respond to you. Like, stuff like that happens. But look, I've made some really great friends on Facebook Marketplace. Maybe I've just been lucky. But really good sellers, really good people I can enjoy the hobby with. And also, you would be surprised at the kinds of people that you actually find in Marketplace behind the curtain. People that you see on your social media feeds every day that are running their stores, and they're selling on Marketplace because if you just refresh the ads, it's free marketing, basically. So there are some really awesome and amazing people in these groups that you can trust and buy from with confidence. And most of the time you're paying cash anyway, and it's face-to-face. So look, Facebook Marketplace is one area. Yeah, thanks for explaining Marketplace to me, Rob. You're probably thinking at this point. But look, next up is Facebook groups. And I'm going to use Facebook groups as kind of an umbrella term for some of the great groups or forums that are out there for Reddit, for Discord, and you know, X and Twitter and that stuff. I'm genuinely surprised by how many people that are into the hobby dismiss these groups or these areas or don't look into them. And then when I say, look, you got to get into these groups, there's this guy selling the thing you're looking for at like half the price. They're like, wow, I found it. This is amazing. Right? So here's some examples. Like, this is very Canada focused because that's where I'm at. Maybe I'm lucky and Canada's just this land of milk and honey when it comes to these Facebook groups, but they're really good, and they're specific groups that you can join. People are doing buy, sell trades. They'll put lots up with prices. They'll do claim sales where you can, you can bid on stuff, potentially make offers on items. There's waffles, which are very dangerous from a gambling perspective. They're raffles, basically. You buy spots in the raffle, and then you take your chances, and that's the way it goes. Waffles, to get rid of the algorithm, will spot raffle, the word raffle, I guess. So they call them waffles, or just put an emoji up of a waffle. There's auctions too. There's all kinds of great things. I like and I use these quite frequently. And then, oh, my thing stopped working. So I like these groups first and foremost because, like, I don't have to pay any tax in these groups. So I don't have to pay any tax, and they're also really great community groups as well. So, like, I love the hobby aspect, the community aspect, and the other thing as well is that they're below market pricing. You're getting below market pricing in these groups. What you're finding quite often is there'll be eBay sellers, and eBay sellers are paying 15%-ish. Fees on stuff, depending on how it's going. But you'll find eBay sellers that are moderators or admins in these groups. They're dropping down, they're selling slightly below market, but still making more money on the fees. Like, this is ultimately a good thing for them. Here's an example of how things can actually be price-wise. So Moonbury PSA 10, this is Canadian dollars. You're selling it for $10.50 in the screenshot here. If I look at price charting, for example, which scrapes eBay, here's your market price of just under $1,200, 1,177. Let's say I buy this from this guy instead of eBay. I'm probably saving somewhere in the region of $280, and that doesn't even take the shipping portion of eBay into account. You can see people are going up for this. That's a 21% saving. Just to put it into perspective, 21% that I could have saved, that's a big chunk, especially when you get into slabs that are expensive. Not all posts are going to be great deals, so leverage sites like price charting, TCG Player, all that fun stuff. If you can find something cheaper somewhere else, that's great. But look, you got to be leveraging these places. So look, on the point of scammers, how do you protect yourself? Well, first of all, common sense. If someone's selling a first edition Charizard for $200 because their dog is sick, that's probably not going to fly, right? If they want you to send them money before they send you photographs of the pictures or of the products, or they don't have timestamps, that stuff's all bad, right? So go with your gut and just use PayPal GNS. I have a rule: if I'm over $100 Canadian, I always use GNS. That's what I'm comfortable. I could lose that money, and that's my own fault, and I wouldn't be too cut up about it, right? Goods and services, if you don't know, it's just a way for these decentralized groups to use a centralized payment method. You have to offer it in the groups. I mean, it has to be a payment method. You can't only accept, email transfer or Venmo or whatever it is. You can basically go back to the seller and you can say, look, you didn't do what you said you were going to do. I'm starting an investigation or a claim with PayPal GNS. And then, you have some protection. You can also link PayPal to your credit card, and if your credit card gives you some form of buyer protection or purchase protection, then you could potentially get some benefits from that as well. Now, these groups are going to vary by region. As I mentioned, I think Canada's pretty blessed with some of these groups, but you want to just be very comfortable with what you're doing and look everywhere for deals. And deals are out there, man. Like they're everywhere. Like if you look at, here's a claim sale that my friend Bill ran, just awesome community stuff. He put it in his stories. Bill the Pokemon, his taxes are all in order. As well, he would like it to be noted, but they're just really cool stuff and great deals, great part of the community that, you're glazing over if you're just going and buying from the first place that shows up on your browser, or just buying at whatever the market price is on eBay. Like, you're just missing out on this stuff. So finally, in person, if you want to avoid tax and potentially get better deals on top of that, local card stores, these expos, card shows, just ask them. Cash is king. So just say, hey guys, if I pay in banknotes, what's my discount going to be? Right? And worst they can say is nothing. Sorry, buddy. Or they could give you a discount, they could waive the tax, whatever it is, they're managing their inventory however they see fit. So in closing, guys, should you be paying tax on your Pokemon card purchases? Well, it depends where you buy them. If you're able to get them at a better deal on some of these community-driven groups, I would say go for it, quite honestly. But as I said, buy where you're comfortable, leave no stone unturned, and just try and make your dollars in the hobby go as far as possible. I'm genuinely curious to know if you guys got to the end of the video. First of all, thank you, and please remember to subscribe to my channel. I'm really curious to see what people think. Like, what's it like in your region? What are these groups like? Is it just full of scammers? You're not getting anywhere? Have you had a great experience? Let me know in the comments. So that's it from me, guys. Pokemon investing should be a very small portion of a well-balanced investment portfolio. Until next time, take it easy.